We should be good. Today, we're making chicken. Well, not really today. Today we're seasoning it, and then we're going to cook it tomorrow, since I want to marinate it overnight. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go get the chicken. Here is our chicken. Look at that. Big fat. So we're probably just gonna cook this like one singular piece of chicken. Like, look at it. But first, there's some things we need to do. Firstly, we need to tenderize it. I don't know where to get the thing to tenderize it. I'll just use my hands, I guess. Here, let me wash it off. That's washed. So I'm just gonna as soon as I don't have a tenderizer, I'm just gonna punch the chicken. Okay, sure. Yeah, fall over! Alright, and just... a little bit closer here. Okay, here we go. That was super unnecessary and stupid. But yeah, meat should be nice and tenderized now. I'm gonna put the rest of the meat up since I'm not using it. We're going to be using cayenne pepper, Cajun seasoning, black pepper, tad bit of seasoning salt, regular salt, and some basil, and maybe some of this. Let's get to seasoning. Whoa, shoot. So when it comes to seasoning chicken and you're using oil, you want to put the oil on first so that all the seasoning can stick to the chicken. Pour a good amount of oil, not too much, but just like a splash, because it can also turn into this oil juice that can also penetrate the chicken. So even if you just don't pour a whole bunch. First, we're going to be starting off with some salt and just move that oil around on that chicken before we start seasoning, so we can just make sure everything is where it needs to be. But yeah, I can't do it. Make sure all that oil is generously and thoroughly on the chicken so that it sticks to every part of the chicken when you put in your seasoning. First thing you're going to do, you're going to hit it up with some salt. Not too much, you don't want it to be too salty. Second, you're going to hit it with this pepper. Not too much because you don't want it to be too spicy unless you're into that. Then, some rotisserie chicken. Seasoning. Give it a generous amount, right? Then, hit it with some of this cayenne pepper for the one time. Then, hit it with some Cajun seasoning. And then, just a touch, not a whole bunch, but a touch of seasoning salt, because we already put salt on it. Now, we're gonna just move this around. I'll shake off some of the seasoning on the front, because it's only been seasoned on the front, right? So you want to get it to move around. Just give you guys a little bit of a look at that. You want the flavor to be all up in it, everywhere. You want it to be on every square inch, the surface. You want the whole chicken to change color. If it's changing color, then you've seasoned it well. And as I said before, that oil is helping it to stick and coalesce so that it stays on the chicken. Now you might be wondering to yourself, are we cooking this today? No, we're not cooking this. No, we're not cooking this today. The reason being is because we're going to marinate it. Now you might be looking at your screen right now and being like, whoa, shut up. I'm going to tell you what it is. Don't hurt yourself. I'm sorry, I didn't mean any of that.
Marinating is the process of soaking foods in a seasoned, often acidic liquid before cooking. This sauce, called the marinade, can either be acidic, enzymatic, or even have a neutral pH. In addition to these ingredients, a marinade often contains oil, salt, herbs, and spices to further flavor the food items.
What I plan to do with this chicken, I don't know. I could just I could just cook it by itself. I could, dice this up and put it in a omelet, which might be what I do for tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, the sky's really the limit with chicken. You can put this with literally anything. You can make this into a chicken sandwich. You could, grill it. You can fry it, saute it, bake it. Don't matter. It's chicken. After mixing up the chicken, it's gonna look like this. You see how it's got all that color on it? You see how it has all that presentation? All that beautiful flavor is inside this chicken. This chicken has tons of flavor and seasoning. Look at that. See that? See how it's coated? You see how the seasoning is falling off that thing with a little bit of Also, we tenderize it in the beginning so that we have more surface area and more places for the seasonings to reach. And also just to make the meat tender. Because when it's smushed like that, it's breaking down all of the protein in itself, making it a lot easier to kind of just like melt in your mouth when you eat it. I say all this, but don't think I'm like a cooking expert. I'm a guy that's making chicken. Now, I don't typically do this when I season my food, but I'm going to do it this time, just out of curiosity. And this is going to be kind of like our topping. Just going to sprinkle it on there. Generous amount of basil. Ooh. I'm going to top it off. Let me see if we have anything. Ooh, we have onion powder. I was looking for this. So typically with a lot of like chicken seasonings, the typical thing that you're going to see is like onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, cayenne pepper, salt, pepper, stuff like that. Very common seasoning. This and garlic pepper is like salt and pepper. Wait, what? This and garlic seasoning are like salt and pepper. You put this on chicken almost like all the time. Now, we're going to make the marinade. But before we do that, let me just show you what my chicken is looking like before we get into all that. Look at that. Look, you see how it glistens in the light? Look at all that flavor. Look at all that damn flavor. If you compare this to what it looked like before, it looks like a completely different piece of meat. We're going to make a marinade. Now you might be wondering, how do you make a marinade? Well, it's actually very, very simple. All you need is a bowl, half a stick of butter, and then what you're going to do with this bowl is you're going to put it in the microwave. My microwave lets it go for about, I think, 1 minute and a half before it starts to liquefy, and that's exactly what we're trying to get here. We're trying to make this butter melt so that we can put these seasonings inside of that butter. That's what a marinade is. It's taking a liquid, and it doesn't even have to just be butter. It can be butter, it can be soy sauce, it can be honey, it could be any of those things, but typically, more often than not, at least I think, when people refer to a marinade, they're talking about a butter-based marinade. I guess I can just get my seasoning ready then. Typically, you want to go in with some salt, some pepper. We're going to take out the seasoning salt because the chicken's probably already kind of salty. You're going to put in some Cajun seasoning, put in some rotisserie chicken, see, bubbling, and then some cayenne pepper. Yeah, see that? Be very careful when it comes out the microwave, because this is hot butter. This is like, butter is hot. This will burn you. This will burn you. You don't necessarily have to have half a stick of butter. You can put as much butter as you want, but you know, just move accordingly. After you've added all your seasonings, you're going to take this mixture here and you're going to stir it. Right? You're going to make all those seasonings come together to this beautiful, immaculate little sauce that you've made. Give it a nice stir. And boom. Once you're done, you're going to take your chicken, you're going to take your marinade, and you're going to pour the marinade into your bowl of chicken. Now what this is going to do is, on top of the oil and seasonings that have already been in the chicken, with this marinade, it's going to take all that's in this bowl, not everything, but everything near the chicken, and the juice itself, and start to slowly push itself into the chicken. Typically, when it comes to marinade, you want to marinate the chicken for as long as possible. Not like a year, but like a day at least, overnight, typically. You want this to be in the refrigerator, sealed, so that all that flavor is recirculating back into the chicken and going back into the so that way, when you do cook this chicken eventually, you taste everything that you put in it. You've completed every last step. You're gonna get some foil, like so, and you're going to put it over the bowl. Now preferably, I know I didn't say this at the beginning, but preferably you would want a bowl, like a mixing bowl. You would want a big bowl for something like this. Okay, hold on, tweak it. And here's our chicken. It's in this bowl, and it's sealed with some foil. You can also use, what's that other thing? Not foil, but it's like see-through, and you can put it over the top. Not parchment paper. It's like this plastic wrap. Plastic wrap. Wow, that was kind of embarrassing that it took me that long to say it. It's finished. You can take this, and you can put it in the refrigerator.
Wow. How nice.